In our last core concept talk, I talked about the concept of oneness. I talked about that was the leap of faith that we make in religious science. The leap of faith is very simply, we believe there is an infinite power and presence that created all things. It created all things out of itself. As it created things out of itself, there's nothing other than it. So everything that happens now that we're going to talk about for the next few weeks relates to that acceptance. In many, many other religions, you have to accept their book is true. You've got to accept the characters' lives are the way they say they are. We don't have that. We talk about there is an infinite. So today, we're going to talk about the concept of the triune nature of the divine, the triune nature of God. But one of the things I want you to understand, the triune nature is simply a framework for understanding how the creative power of the universe works and how we, as individualizations, are a part of that process. In other words, if you were a Catholic, you would talk about the Holy Trinity, Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. Here in religious science, we talk about it is a framework of understanding the creative power. We create a framework because the human mind can't understand it without that type of progressional stepping stone. So the way we look at it is the triune nature of the universe is made up of three interconnected parts: spirit, soul, and body. And these three aspects work together in perfect harmony to create everything that exists, including our own experiences. In other words, there's not a separate spirit, there's not a separate soul, and there's not a separate body. But for purposes of our understanding, that's what we create. In fact, in reality, there's only pure spirit. And it demonstrates through the soul and through the body. And it does so harmoniously. There's no pushback. It's an effortless and easy way. The Word is made flesh, part of the Bible. The divine spoke the Word, and the Word was made flesh. It's very simple. That's the creative process. So let's talk about this aspect that we call spirit. Spirit is the seed of the creative process. In the science of mind philosophy, spirit represents the conscious mind of the universe. It is the thinker. It is the source of all ideas and intentions. It is the part of the infinite mind that imagines. It is the part that analyzes. And so when you look at it, the spirit idea, just as a plant begins with a seed, every thought, idea, or intention starts in spirit. Spirit is the part of us that imagines, envisions, and initiates the creative process. Without spirit, there would be no new seed planted. With no new seed planted, nothing can be birthed. Ernest Holmes, the founder of Science of Mind, taught that spirit is pure consciousness. It is infinite intelligence and absolute creativity. And when we align ourselves with spirit, we're tapping into that limitless potential of the universe. That's why we meditate, to tap in and become one with all that is. That's why when we teach spiritual mind treatment, the first two steps are becoming one with spirit. It's when we realize our oneness with spirit that we enhance, and our creative power goes right through the roof. Nothing can oppose us. So let's look at the second aspect of this triune nature, the soul. The soul is the law of creation. The soul is the medium through which the seed works. It also is referred to as the law of cause and effect. It is a part of the process that receives the seed, the thought or the intention, and molds it into form. Isn't that a beautiful way of looking at it, the analogy? That whatever form you give to the soul creates it. You can think of the soul as the soil in which the seed of spirit is planted. When you plant a seed in the soil doesn't question what kind of seed you grow. It simply accepts the seed and begins to nurture it, allowing it to unfold. Think about this then. The soul doesn't care what you plant. It gives you what you plant. It gives you what your beliefs are. So your beliefs put into the mind of God, the aspect of God that we call the law or the soul, gets created. Doesn't care whether it's good for you, bad for you, indifferent for you, whatever. It gives you what you plant, just as the soil gives you the seed. If you plant a grapefruit seed, you're going to get a grapefruit tree. If you plant an orange seed, you're going to get an orange tree, and vice versa. You see, the soul is automatic and it's impersonal. Whatever you plant in the soul grows. Whether it is a seed of joy or abundance or a seed of fear and limitation. The soul doesn't care. It has no mind of its own other than to create what is planted in it. Now looking at the third aspect, the body, the physical manifestation. The body is the physical form. It's the final stage in the creative process. It's where the idea or intention, nurtured by the soul, becomes a tangible reality. This body of mine, this body of yours, it's the outpicturing of the creative process. The planet is an outpicturing of the creative process. The microphone that's picking up the sound it's the creation. The body, the outpicturing, the form, is the point where our thoughts, intentions, and beliefs become visible and tangible in the world around us. We give form to what we think about. It's important to understand that the body is not separate from the spirit and soul. It is the natural outcome of the creative process and shows us that everything we experience in the physical world is a reflection of our inner thoughts and beliefs. You see, the creative process, the seed to create the creative process, and the body, we want to separate them. They're inseparable. They're one and the same thing. The triune nature shows us that the universe is inherently supportive of our growth and our expansion. The solar law always works to bring our thoughts into form, and when we align ourselves with love, abundance, peace, we naturally attract those experiences into our lives. And vice versa. If we align ourselves to lack, disease, hate, judgment, the law, the soul, brings those into our life. The triune nature of spirit, soul, and body is a powerful framework for understanding how the universe creates and how we as individuals are a part of that process. And when we understand this process, we realize that we are never powerless. We're always creating our reality through our thoughts and beliefs, and that we are the masters of our lives. Do you feel that you are worthy? If you feel you are worthy, then you will no longer ever be a victim again, because you truly do understand that you are always creating your reality. And it is your thoughts, your beliefs, your feelings, your actions aligned toward a specific result that bring into your experience the form, the shape, everything that your senses bring in. And you truly are the master of your life. Understand this. Everything truly does begin and end with you, at least as far as you are concerned.